So last month, the team at Dehancer reached out to me and they wanted me to review their product, and I was absolutely stoked to review it. So thank you so much for the team over at Dehancer for reaching out. I really appreciate it. So in this video, I just wanted to go over some of the film looks that I like and just the overall versatility and what you can really do when you push Dehancer to its full potential. So let's hop into it. Alright guys, so now that we are in DaVinci Resolve, we have to change a few settings before we begin. So we're going to go to the settings wheel here, and then we're going to go to color management, and we have to make sure that we are working in the DaVinci YRGB color space. And if this box is checked, you're going to uncheck this. And next, we're going to set our timeline color space to DaVinci Wide Gamut Intermediate, and then our output color space is going to be Rec 709. All right, and then you should be all set, and we'll go down and hit save. Alright guys, so now that we have the settings all figured out, we're going to get to the actual grade. So I have my clip here on the timeline. This is a clip from a recent documentary that I just did about an artist. So I thought this was a pretty cool shot. We have some paint tubes and stuff like that. It's a lot of contrast, a lot of different colors here, so I thought it'd be a good clip to try it out. So we're gonna go over to our color grade tab over here. And I used Dehancer with the recommended node tree. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. And then we're going to make this node a parallel node, and then add 2 more nodes after this. And this is how you're going to label them. So this is going to be our noise reduction. This is going to be our white balance. This node will be our contrast. We have mask 1 and mask 2. We have Dehancer and sharpness. Alright, so now that we have this node tree, we are ready to begin grading. Alright guys, so now that we have our node tree, we're going to come up to the effects here. I'm going to type in Dehancer and throw that on. And again, we're going to have a pretty bad image, but it's okay. So what I usually like to do is come down and uncheck the film grain, and then so whatever camera you shot in, or whatever format you shot in, I like to convert the footage here under the input tab. So go down, I usually hit choose camera, and then this was shot on a Fujifilm X-T4 in F-Log. So again, now look at that, we have a pretty decent image to work with here. And now I like to go back, and we can start from the beginning. So we're going to type in our noise reduction right here. Our white balance, I like to go to the color wheels tab and white balance with this tool, so we can just choose anything. I think that's probably pure white right there. Again, not a huge change, but it is nice. Again, and then the contrast, bring it up. That looks pretty good right there. For mask, I don't think we need to mask anything. These 2 nodes are usually used if you have a human subject in your shot. So in they're constantly, moving their face, you want to balance the skin tones, make sure that the grade isn't off throughout the whole shot. And then now we can go over to our Dehancer node and really apply the film look. So the first grade that I like to do, go over to the film profiles here. I'm going to scroll up a bit. It's the Fujifilm Natura 1600, and then with the Kodak Endura glossy paper prints. So, and now we can make our fine tunes. And yeah, what Dehancer recommends is that as soon as you put your print profile onto the one that you like, you go up to the expand tab here and set your black point and white point. So I am just going to set my black point there, and then I don't even know if the white point has to be touched that much. You guys have to be very careful with setting this white point too low, because you can see if you go past really that 50 range, you can really get blown out highlights, and obviously we do not want that in any of our images. So I think I'm just gonna go like right there. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna come up here to our film developer. This basically bakes in that Fujicolor Natura 1600 look. I think I'm gonna up the contrast, maybe just a tad here. Oh, of course, enable that. Yeah, I like that right there. Let's see. I think maybe a little bit of color boost. We already have a very saturated image. We see those very deep blues. Maybe that's right there. That's pretty good. So the gamma correction basically it just determines how much the midtones are shifted towards the shadows and highlights. I don't know if we need a lot of gamma correction here. Maybe like there. It's pretty good. Yeah. Come down to the film compression. This basically just overall kind of just redistributes the highlights. It's a little white, these highlights are a little too bright in the middle of this image here. Maybe we can shift it just a tad. That looks pretty good. Other than that, I think maybe the white point here, maybe pushed up a tad. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. That looks better. You see those whites were just a little crushed. Crush those whites a little bit. Got a nice smoother image. That's good. Then other than that, we already went over our expand profiles. So I'm going to go down to our prints. Not too much. Maybe bring the exposure down just a tad. Contrast up maybe a little bit. And that looks pretty good. Alright guys, so one thing that I actually forgot to mention about the print settings is that this color density option right here. So this is actually perceptual saturation control. So it affects the aesthetically significant colors in a higher degree. So as you can see, it's really just the blues here. So I think I'm going to just bring it down a lot, because I think the blue is a little overwhelming. So you see, yeah, there we go. There we go. I like that a lot. It's good. Yeah, so now we can move down to the color head section. This is basically for fine-tuning a lot of the colors, the shadows of certain colors, midtones and highs of certain colors. So we're gonna have it enabled here, and again, there is a lot of blue in this section, so going to bring in a little more of those yellows in through here. You can really see like that wear and tear on some of these paint canisters, which is pretty cool. I kind of like that a lot. Other than that, I think I don't think the shadows need that much. Let's see. Yeah, midtones, bring the midtones down a little bit. Yeah, highlights up a tad. And I think besides that, this image is looking pretty damn good. Alright guys, so we are almost done with the first grade. Now, I like to add film grain as a kind of final step. So I'm going to go down to the film grain tab. I'm going to enable this right here. Personally, I do not like a lot of grain in my images. There is a lot, so bring this down a lot. I personally like to bring it like between 1 and 10. You know, again, not a lot, but it is very subtle. So you see that looks very nice. All right, and then for the last step, I do like to vignette a lot of my videos, so I'm going to enable here. That's a little too much for me, so I'm going to bring up the size maybe to about between 85 and 90. Again, super subtle, but I believe that really brings it out. And then finally, we're going to add our sharpness. So we're going to go here, and as you guys can see, it kind of just brings out, you know, some of that wear and tear that these paint canisters have seen. I kind of like that effect a lot. I'm going to bring it down just a tad. I think that looks good right there. And that is our completed image. So if we want to toggle on and off right here, I think that looks absolutely gorgeous. There you go. Alright guys, so now that we have our node grade, we can drag in Dehancer again. We're going to uncheck our film grain and convert our footage. Alright, there we go. Image isn't looking too bad, but I just wanted to go over the major change between last grade and this grade. The film profile that I will be using is the Fujicolor Pro 400H. So right here. And then the print I'm going to be using is the Fujifilm 3513 print film. So as you can see, it gives us this really nice contrasty look. I really like using this combo in natural light settings where it's really sunny. It gives you this really warm, very inviting image that's very pleasant to look at to the human eye. So that's why I really like using this combo for natural light. So now I'm going to just go through Dehancer and just make some little tweaks to kind of fine tune the image, and I will see you guys when I am done. I finished our Dehancer grade right here, and all we have to do is add the sharpness, so it just brings out those finer details in the dandelions. I'm actually going to maybe bring up the fine details just a tad. Looks pretty good, and I think we are all set with our image. I went for a very old, very retro-y vibe here, so there's gonna be a lot of film grain, but again, super highly saturated. It's very warm, very inviting. That was kind of the look that I was going for here. I think it looks really nice. It kind of looks like old Kodak 16mm film. And again, this is why Dehancer is such a great product. And this is just, honestly guys, this is just scratching the surface. There is so much you guys can do. So that being said, let's head on to our third grade. Alright guys, so now we have our third clip. This is again from the documentary that I shot. We are going to be grading it using the Kodak 2383 print. This is kind of like the premier, very sought after print among a lot of filmmakers. So let's hop right into it. Alright guys, so I just did the primary adjustments here. I'm going to go into Dehancer, convert the footage as usual. I'm going to uncheck the film grain, and now I usually like to leave the Kodak Vision 3 250D print when I am using the profile of Kodak 2383. It usually does look pretty good, so again, all up to you, but this is what I usually do with my workflow. So now what we're going to do is enable the film developer, and the contrast is good. I think we need a little gamma correction. Yeah, right about there. Make sure those skin tones are starting to look pretty good. Go back to the film compression, enable that, bring down the impact a little bit, then set our white point, bring back a little bit more depth in the skin tones, a little more density in the colors, set our white points and black points. Then now go down to our profile, right there, just a tad, and then a little bit of color density there. Then check our film grain down to like right there. Alright guys, so now that we are done with our primary Dehancer grade, I thought this clip was a very good opportunity to showcase the mask nodes that you can use. As you can see, the right side of his cheek is a little bit overexposed, so we're going to go correct that. Go back, just go into the windows here, and then we're going to grab this mask, fit it very roughly to that side of his cheek. That looks pretty good. And go here, bring down the highlights and the shadows just a little bit. Soften this mask. Yeah, there we go. Looks pretty good. Bring down the highlights just maybe a tad more. There we go. How does that look? Not bad, not bad. So now we're gonna come back here, go into the tracker, just track. Doesn't matter that the mask is over on the side, because obviously it's not affecting any part of the image. But now we can come back here, and it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Yeah, and here's the full screen for you guys. Alright guys, so that concludes kind of my mini tutorial slash workflow on how I use Dehancer Pro Film Emulation. And I just want to give a few words, kind of just my thoughts about the software, and if it is good fit for everybody and just stuff like that. So personally, I am in college. I go to school to make films, and I found this software had a very steep learning curve. They give you a 50-page manual for a reason. There is a lot of dense information that is associated with how to properly and correctly use this software. And I'm not going to lie, it was a little overwhelming at first. There's a lot to learn. I found it very interesting though. And just with that, I wanted to say that this is probably not a beginner-friendly program. As I said before, there is a steep learning curve. It is a very sophisticated and advanced piece of technology, and I am going to urge you, if you are looking into buying this, that you have at least a good understanding of what color science is, and what film profiles and film prints are, and what color theory is, and stuff like that. Because if not, you will be lost in this profile. And yeah, just wanted to say once again, thank you for the team at Dehancer for reaching out. I'm really enjoying your product. I can't wait to use it more in the future. I think going forward, I'm going to use Dehancer to grade every single one of my projects. It is really that good. Yeah, that concludes my review. Thank you so much if you made it to the end, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you.